Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome back to Tower Dominion. Kind of addicted to this game, honestly, and I've been having a great time playing it. Now, last time we played our good friend here, Sergeant Gertag, and we didn't quite manage to beat the Tier 5, or Tier 4 here, difficulty. We got to the final wave, but we were defeated, and I do really like playing Sergeant Gertag, but I kind of want to try out some of these other heroes as well as try out different factions. And I want to try out the Lions of Ravelski here, a slightly different faction. They have a different bunker. This guy's bunker is like very heavily fortified, heavily defended, whereas this is kind of less of a fortification bunker. You can put some guns on it, but not really as much. I like the idea of Tank Commander Barrett here. I don't know what the threat reveal really does for us. I also like the idea of the Prime Infiltrator, as well as getting the extra damage from being adjacent to neutral buildings. So Prime Knaza Estelia kind of appeals to me here. So I'm going to go for her. That extra discovery increases the chance that we're going to discover neutral buildings as we place down our different tiles here and kind of take an assessment of the situation. So we've got 4 directions that we need to defend from. We've got 4 different battlefronts. Each pathway coming from our HQ building here is a battlefront, and it remains as a single battlefront as long as it is not connected to another path. So for example, if I were to sort of build like this and loop around and connect these 2 paths together using my zone expansion tiles, they would become a single battlefront. And it sort of is a bit of a question like how you want to distribute the various paths of your base, because right now, we've got 6 entry points. So the enemies that are coming, they will randomly appear from these various entrances. So from these 2 bottom entrances, about a third of the enemies are going to come from the bottom and about 2/3 are going to come from the top. That's because 4 of the entries are sort of on this top side in each of these directions. So I'm thinking maybe I could balance this out, or I could lean in even more and have more come out this way. But I think it might be better to balance this out by putting this here, because then I can put a tower around here and it'll actually cooperate on both of these waves. Now we can get our commander upgrades. We can upgrade this. Let's see, we get 5+5 recon production. We get HP and damage on the HQ. We could give a 30% rate of fire boost and a 25% cost reduction to buildings that are adjacent to the HQ. Now that would eventually pay for itself. However, only 4 buildings will ever be able to benefit from this on the tier 4 difficulty, because there's only 4 slots that are actually adjacent. The thing about the red faction's HQ is it's actually kind of smaller, in the sense that it has less tiles that are adjacent to it. I do like the idea of the underground garage giving us a tank for every battlefront, so maybe we keep our number of battlefronts high. I also like the idea these Reaper turrets will probably be able to do most of the defending in the early game. So it's a question, do I want the HP and HQ? And the damage on troops, are we going to lean towards troop production here? We do have like a hero that's going to come out every wave, plus the Praetorian Guard who's going to come out every wave. Like, is that what we want to lean towards? It's a tough decision. It's a tough decision. I do think having some recon production is incredibly valuable for having control of how the map gets laid out. So I think I might go for the support helipad here. And then early game, I do think that these Reaper turrets are going to do a lot of work. I mean, I am going to be sad that I don't go heavily into the troops sort of direction here with the support radar, but I think if I go for the Reaper turrets, that's just going to make this building able to defend itself a little bit effectively. It's probably going to fall off later on in the game, but the fact that this does 150 damage per shot and it shoots 3 shots before reloading, it takes 2 seconds to reload. I think you take your reload speed and you divide it. You divide 1 by it, or you multiply 1 by it. I don't know exactly how it works, but then I think I might put down my hero statue just over here. We kind of take a look at this. So we've got Order of the Claimed Sky. This increases the chance for building doctrines to appear instead of regular doctrines. We get the Seal of Pristine Glory. Building gets air and shield damage. I think I would rather get the building doctrines. The Order of the Iron Sword will reveal the threat sooner. It's interesting. We're up against regular sort of stuff here. We've got the Deverare. The Pandora, it's a flying unit, so it will fly directly towards the headquarters. So we are going to want anti-air weaponry, because this guy does half damage to air. That's something we're going to want to keep in mind. The Order of the Iron Sword reveals threats 2 waves earlier, or we can get 15% building costs. That's really damn good long term. Infantry gets HP and damage, or we can use tech so that when the commander dies, we get 10% damage. I think there's some interesting decisions that we could make here. We definitely want the Reliquary of Judaria. It feels like the right kind of direction here. Question is, do I save my money or do I spend the Mirador? There is a +3 tile here for the Mirador, and this is a great spot. It covers 4 of the 7 entrances plus some of the other ones nearby. This is a great spot for a Mirador, so I'm going to put that there and we'll send the wave. It's not going to do the most amount of damage. This isn't a high DPS turret, but it will do enough to soften up enemies in the nearby area. See, it did 230 damage compared to the 770 of the main base. Upgrade costs are reduced by 20% this wave. A 20% supply production increase on the first turn of the game is going to have tremendous value over the course of the entire game. So I think I'm going to grab that because we don't have a lot of stuff that we want to spend stuff on right now. I do think having Miradors with detection is really good for dealing with camouflage. They don't have the most amount of damage, but if you go all the way on the left side here, yeah, if you go all left side, you end up with 4 troops in here, plus 25% reload speed and plus 50% rate of fire. So they just crap out damage and they have detection. So I think I'm going to push heavily on the left side of this Mirador here to... You know, you can see like it's doing pretty good damage against these light enemies and it saves the Reaper turrets. We did take a little bit of damage. That's okay. Early game +5 scouting in the addition to the fact that we're already a prime infiltrator could be incredible. This could be an incredible return on investment if we go for this. So I'm going to go for thorough scouting here because we already have some discovery. So there's a high chance that we find things. And I'm tempted to move this path to the left. Although generally speaking, I want to increase the length of paths that are already calling a lot of enemies so that we can sort of distribute when and where enemies appear. So I'm going to put a path right here. It's probably another great spot for a Mirador nearby. So this is an anti-shield turret that if I place a building nearby will actually shoot. And that could be a very powerful thing to do. And our buildings beside this will actually get even +1 extra range. So I'm tempted to put a Mirador right there. So that's going to have huge range. Plus this anti-shield weapon is activated. And it targets enemies with the most shield. So I'm going to want shielded enemies to come from here. So depending on how things work out, I might be able to make that happen. It shoots once per second. It takes 2 seconds to reload. It has 3 shots in its magazine. So it has really good DPS. So this is going to be a very, very nice turret to have. Go ahead and send that wave. Yeah, the Reaper turrets aren't perfect at defending the base. We are going to need another defensive building over here on the right side, I think, because we're taking just a little bit of chip damage. So the bastions are really good. They're quite expensive. So I'm trying to balance like how expensive stuff is versus like the dirt. Like a lot of these things are really great. Miradors do fall off in the late game, but they're also awesome early game. Plus 200 supply right now would be great. We do have good supply production, but I think what I want to do is go for the Reliquary of Jadaria because that's going to lower the cost of my buildings by 30%. So I'm going to be able to place more buildings. And then I think I'm just going to grab the Cross of... Oh, man. Infantry. I'm going to hold off on that decision. I might go for the extra infantry HP and damage. We'll see. But yeah, let's go ahead and send the wave. But yeah, all future turrets are going to be a lot cheaper now for me to get up. But you can see we're just taking a little bit of damage. Platforms are really good. The Puma position is great against air. The Scout hideout is also fantastic. I'm tempted to go for the Scout hideout because it takes recon to build and upgrade. So that kind of appeals to me in a certain way. I have so many Miradors, it's crazy. I may actually re-roll this zone because I need to extend this route because when flying enemies spawn here, they're just so close. So I'm going to extend this. We've got a gravity well. So foes within range 3 are slow. So that's 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. It would just about reach a lot of key tiles here if we were to get that up and running. But I think I want the logistic reinforcement here. I want the extra DPS on this, and I similarly want those there too. Let's go ahead and send the wave. So hopefully the extra DPS on this is going to start adding up. And we are going to take a little bit of damage here. It's a problem. Cheaper Miradors is great. I also think 10% damage, rate of fire, and reload speed is great on Miradors as well because we already have a bunch of them. I'm going to add a Mirador here. So this is providing a slow in this area, like I said. Probably be good to get a couple of Miradors adjacent to the Imperial Stronghold to get it a bit of repair and extra health. We'll look into doing that later. For now, I'm going to double the damage of this Mirador by adding a defender, and then we'll send a wave. So hopefully he'll be able to hold off some of these lighter enemies. That's what they're quite good at, because a single shot will kill most of these sort of weaklings, hopefully cutting down the total amount of damage that we take. And the slow pulse is also fantastic. An advanced Mirador would be good here. I would also not sniff at the recon. That would allow me to get a scout outpost up, and this actually scales pretty well with discovery and the guerrilla warfare. So there's something there. The advanced Mirador is really cool though. I think I'm going to go for the recon, the Puma position, because I'd be able to get this scout hideout up a little bit sooner. I'm tempted to re-roll. We've got new threats spotted. So we've got guys that are immune to slow and have shield. Okay. And then we have camouflage. So we are going to need a detection relatively early in this game, which is a good news because we actually have a lot of Miradors with detection. I'm going to add a turn here just to kind of push these enemies a little bit further away. I'm going to put scout snipers in this turret, and eventually I will add large squad and all that sort of stuff. But they get a 20% damage and +1 range boost from being adjacent to this. I'm going to add another gun to this tower. I think getting the first 2 upgrades is relatively cheap and inexpensive. The third upgrade, while great, is quite expensive. I think I'd rather focus on getting the first 2 on my Miradors. Even so, there are enemies getting through, and it's a bit of a problem for us, but we haven't taken that much damage, so platforms would be amazing too. So I'm going to grab that platform. And I think it's time to start setting up a support Mirador by the base. Now, normally I might go for like the underground depot plus logistic reinforcement into close support, but the fact that we're going to be dealing with stealth very early into this game, I'm thinking I might just go special reinforcement, logistic reinforcement into close support. So I think that's what we're going to be working towards. This will give 15% damage, 30% HP, and a 5% repair every wave, so that's really going to help the Imperial Stronghold sort of recover this health that we've slowly started to lose. And yeah, we'll see these guys kind of... Hopefully, we're starting to push back. We are still taking chunks of damage, but I don't think it's quite so bad. 200 supply here, plus 25% HQ on the HQ is quite good. Honestly, going for a Mirador heavy build, I don't mind so much. We have a zone expansion. We could put a blank tile right here. This would allow us to put a pretty big, powerful turret right here. The question is, though, do we want to put a blank tile here? Or do we want to keep expanding? I think we want to keep expanding the zones. And the question is, do we want this path to turn left or do we want it to turn right? If we turn right, we go with these guys. If we turn left, we go with these guys. I'm going to have it turn right, like so. We got another slow tower, so we probably want to build something there. Cheapest building I have is the, well, not the cheapest, but good building is the Mirador. But I'm a little bit focused on making the capital better, so we're going to save up for close support here. We'll get the special reinforcement, which allows them to detect, and the logistic reinforcement, which gives them a weapon, so they're triple damage, plus a little bit of a reload speed boost, which is nice. Then we'll give them a boost. Now, they're not particularly great against air, but massed fire is also decent against air. We're having a difficulty just stopping the swarms. The swarms of enemies are slowly trickling through, but in time we will beat them. 10% cost reduction on the Mirador is great when I have so many of them, especially with a 30% reduction already coming in from the reliquary, 15% rather. So those stack. Here comes the first of the camouflaged and the immune to slow guys. Let's get close support. That brings up our HP by about 450 and also gives us a nice DPS boost on this, meaning that they will do more damage against air. I'll want probably to surround this thing in Miradors to give it lots of health. So here comes the shielded guys. They're coming from this left side. I would prefer if they came from the proto-turret direction, as that would deal with them very, very well. And actually, it seems like we deal better with non-swarm waves. So it looks like we were struggling more heavily on swarms. 20% infantry rate of fire. This is great if you only have one Mirador. Local collaboration is awesome in conjunction with our guerrilla warfare ability, actually. So I think I'm going to go for local collaboration here. God, I would really like a path splitter, because the more entryways you have, the better. A good path splitter over here would be good. I'm tempted to re-roll. There we go. It's kind of what I was hoping for. Yeah, like this. We can loop this back around a little bit. You kind of want your place to be kind of a circle. I'm going to add a Mirador over sort of opposite to this one. We'll go for the special reinforcement and then logistic and then close support again. Keep sending waves. We do like the snipers pumping out damage here. Also, that extra recon is really adding up. It's really, really nice. You can see as the swarmers are being added back in, it's starting to become a problem for us again. Ooh, 10% rate of fire, really good on the scout hideout. On the other hand, extra supply right now, plus the threat reveal. You gain 2 platforms. That's really good. We're going to get another 3 threat reveals, so we're going to get 6 more platforms out of that. That's going to give us a lot of power to do things. Let's go for the logistic reinforcement plus close support. Now the capital has 2,500 health plus an extra bunch of damage, so it's actually quite effective against air now. And I'm tempted the next Miradors, maybe I should do like 1 Mirador on the floor, maybe 1 up high. Do I want to use my platforms for that? Is it worth it to use platforms for Miradors? I mean, they scale probably, maybe not the ones that are adjacent to the main base, because these aren't meant to scale with DPS. They're meant to scale and repair the HQ itself and provide like baseline anti-stealth in the nearby area. I do want the special reinforcement up here on this northerly guy because he can't actually hit camouflage right now, and that's a bit of a problem because there's camouflage coming from the north. You can see the camouflaged units are getting closer and closer than would be ideal. So we're pretty good anti-camouflage right now. 50 recon would be excellent at this time because that means another scout hideout. There's only 1 tile of distance over here, so I think I'm going to add just a straight line right there. That's useful. Scout hideout here feels like a good move to activate that. It's going to be extra high DPS location. It didn't cost us any supply. Do I want to save up for some Werewolf positions? Some Pumas. I think the Miradors are actually just scaling really nicely for me right now. We'll save platforms for maybe another type of unit. We'll put another Mirador on this side. And let's just start scaling up off Miradors. Because they have decent DPS, and if you get the upgrades for them in the rerolls, which we have a high chance of getting those upgrades, right? Because of our Order of the Claimed Sky. Nice, lovely, loving it. God, I really like this game. I love how it looks. I love how it plays. Ooh, decimation positions are really strong. However, another 10% off our Mirador costs is huge. That's going to allow us to scale these Miradors really fast. Cheaper scout hideouts would be amazing. We don't need the Mirador blueprints. I'm going to go for the supply and the scout hideouts. We've got a zone expansion. I think this one right here feels pretty natural. Like it slots in very nicely there. We've also got... Ooh. All buildings gain 5% damage against shield or 20% if adjacent. So this is going to be really useful in the long term to fight shielded enemies. I don't know if we necessarily need more close support upgrades just yet, but I do think setting up a bunch of Miradors adjacent to the main base here is going to be useful. Just so we have massed fire around it. The massed fire will add up. Oh, what's this? Ooh, industrial site, 50 supply production. That's going to be great. An advanced Mirador and better scout hideouts is incredible. We don't need more blueprints. We have plenty of blueprints as it currently stands. This could be an opportunity for us to bump up the height of a advanced Mirador, like adjacent to this thing. Like, what if we did that and we made this super powerful advanced Mirador and we went full in? So now it's got big range, seems quite useful. It covers a significant portion of the map. We're going to want to maybe build out this pathway over here, but they should do a really good job of covering this zone on their platform there. And also we're getting that plus 50% supply production, plus 50 supply rather. And in addition to that, that's getting multiplied by 20%. So we're up to actually 180 supply per turn. Durandal position are really good for the late game. Plus 100 supply is really useful. A big problem we have is a lot of blueprints and nowhere to spend it. So I'm going to put a zone expansion up over here because this feels like the right place to put this. I don't know how to explain that, but basically there's sort of nothing in these directions. Plus, it would increase the chance that shielded enemies will walk past the proto turret. Ooh, 50% upgrade cost reduction on adjacent buildings. That's going to be great for maybe some late game high-tech building. We could put it like a 2x2 building here. Let's upgrade a couple more of these positions to have more guns on them. So the nice thing is each quarter will protect two sides plus a nearby side by one tile. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a coverage weakness over here on this northern side, this northeastern side. So we'll need to work on that. Once we have the Miradors surrounding the base, I think we'll be in really good shape. Cheaper scout hideouts isn't as important as probably the supply and recon right now, I think. So I'm going to go for the supply and recon. Then I'm going to pump up this northern side of our base. We need special reinforcement, logistic reinforcement. I'm going to put another Mirador here to help defend even better. And then I'll wait around until I can get another Mirador to protect. Let's get logistic reinforcement. Everything should be level 2, or at least all my Miradors should be level 2. We haven't gone for the third level on them just yet. For this scout hideout, I'm thinking of going for the large squad. It's on 0 levels, so far side target system doesn't do anything, but doubling the number of snipers on the tower could be really good. It doesn't do that much damage right now, but I think this could help a lot. Plus local supply is going to scale us really nicely. We already have what looks to be 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings active with a 5th on the map that we could activate. So that's going to be a 25. We've got 20%. We would get 25%. So big potential DPS in the scout hideout, especially if we then go for compact charges for the +2 range, plus the slow. That could be really good in the late game. I do think this path needs to be longer. Enemies start out quite close to the base, and the further away, the more breathing room you have to sort of chip away at the enemies, the more... I feel like the more success you're going to have. I think right now I'm just having a supply issue, so I'm just not getting enough of my towers down. I have so many blueprints to play with. This faction gets a lot of blueprints. In terms of the positioning of the 4-way splitter, I think the best position for a 4-way splitter right now would be up here because it's going to open up the northern side a little bit better. Now, question, do I want to start spending on close support or even veteran reinforcement, that 50% DPS rate? I mean, for this tower, it did 2,000 damage like last round. That's really, really good. So I think a 50% rate of fire boost in here would actually have a lot of value. So I think they shoot 1.9 means I think they shoot twice a second. I think that's how it works. Basically, the rate of fire is the number of times they shoot per second, and the reload speed is the divisor of seconds. So if you take 1 second divided by 2.2, they take about just under half a second to reload, like 0.45 of a second or something. So I think adding a rate of fire boost there would be a significant DPS increase. However, they would spend a lot more time reloading. However, they do have a 25% reload speed boost. So I think overall, this is just straight up a 33% DPS increase because it's adding an extra gun. And then you add the fact that it's increasing the rate of fire by 50% as well. So this should be a pretty significant DPS increase. Like, they did about 2,000 damage this round, so we should be able to see a pretty big jump there. And in fact, just for this round, I might hold on to my money. I could also, you know what, I might put a werewolf position here because they do scale pretty well with the warden protocol. So I'm going to go for easy access. That's going to give a 30% rate of fire and reload speed boost. And then shrapnel. It already hits 15 targets, but going up to 16, not so bad. The more important thing is the extra explosion radius. So now it would hit, I think 2.2 tiles. So if it hits here, it would hit like a pretty big radius here. Like it would hit down the path. And then once we have warden protocol, it will get a huge DPS increase and a pretty modest range increase. Let's go ahead and send this wave. I'm expecting big things from this Mirador this round in terms of DPS. I do wish there was like a map mode for DPS so that I could kind of analyze and learn things. Having to click through the towers, that was one thing that Axon TD did incredibly well, was the fact that like you could see which towers were performing incredibly well based on their positioning. Okay, 25% HQ. Cheaper Mirador cost is actually really good too. If we want to max them out, it saves us a little bit of supply because we have so many and they're not all level 2, which means we have a lot of upgrades that we can distribute. So you can see here, yeah, this guy did 4,000 damage there. So his damage effectively doubled with the final upgrade. And now I think I'm going to do similar things on the other 2 Miradors that are in strong positions. Whereas you compare that to these guys, they only did like 1,000 damage. Not amazing, not terrible either. But let's get a little bit more HP on our headquarters so that if we do get a gentle leak, we can survive that damage. Now the threat has been revealed. So the floating Knid. Oh yeah, look, we just took hits from these guys. We're going to need some sort of dedicated anti-air building, I think, because these kind of thicker, floaty guys. So floating Knids have pack tactics. They get stronger the less battlefronts there are. So I think that's these guys. And then we've got the Krillo. So we're going to need to start maybe looking to get some more Puma positions. It looks like air is a problem for us. Vicious Crossfire plus 5% rate of fire is really good. Plus 10 recon production with plus 2 scout hideouts. Remember, every time we select blueprints, we get 2 of them. So 10 recon production here is awesome. We're definitely going to want these Puma positions. I've got a 3-way splitter. A good spot for a 3-way splitter would probably be over here. So I'll plunk that right there. Puma positions really excel the higher up they are. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a platform here and then put a Puma up high. I'm going to give it the anti-air design. It currently has plus 50% damage against anti-air, but if I give it anti-air design, now it'll have 115% against anti-air, and it will target the air unit that is closest to the HQ. So that's really, really nice. I'm going to use a scout tower. I'm going to put a platform down for this scout tower. So it has nice big range, able to help across a variety of spaces. I'm going to hit the far side target system, so it has a big range. So this thing is going to be providing DPS support across basically the entire map, as well as activating the Darium Spire, giving all of my units just a little 5% boost against shielded enemies, which is really helpful. You can see the Puma position opening up on these flying units that are getting close to the base, just keeping them in check. We'll struggle a little bit more with the guys out over on this side until we get a Puma position in over here or some sort of other dedicated anti-air unit. Holy shit, what is that thing? The Tactical Fortress, it's a 3x3. Holy crap, I won it. It cost 2,600 to build. We could save up for that. I do think I want to get more Durandal positions. A Durandal right here. Oh, but what if? No, it would be insane to try to get. Would it be insane to try and get a Tactical Fortress on a 3x3 high? So I would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I would need 14 platforms to get this thing up on a 3x3. That'd be insane. Now, a little bit more doable would be, we'll look into what we can do on that front. I think we'll get the Puma position up on the 3 high here. We'll face it away from the base. We're going to give it anti-air design. I don't think we care about the enhanced targeting. The extra damage is a little bit better. Paleo augments is cool, but is that what I want to spend my tech on? I don't know. Range is really good on the Puma. So I think there is a bit of a dead zone in my Puma coverage. It's right here and right here, kind of. They don't overlap perfectly. But I'm very happy with the Pumas. Oh yeah, there's a lot of air getting up through here on the northern side. Bit of a problem. We took a chunk of damage there. We're probably going to want to do more reinforcements. Cheaper werewolves could be good. Let's do it. We've got a turn piece. Might be good to turn this. That's probably better for a 3-way. This is a good spot right there. We've got another slow tower. Do I save up for the tactical fortress? It's probably insane. The sturdy bunker is actually pretty decent against air, and I could use it to cover our weak zones. There's a spot here that's also quite good. Here as well, it would give great coverage to the south, although I don't think I need more coverage to the south. Where I've been getting enemies through is like up over here. I like this positioning actually, especially if I put a platform right there, and then I go for the sturdy bunker. It'll have great coverage. I feel like the coverage got worse. Am I crazy? Coverage 1, 2, 3, 4. Would it be better to turn it this way? Probably. Now the question is, do we want to put more than one sturdy bunker adjacent and doubling the anti-air weapon here? I think there's a lot of value here in putting a platform right there. 50% rate of fire, reload speed, or 50% damage and rate of fire. These do reload relatively slow. They do have a big magazine. They fire continuously for 2 seconds. Damage is super good. But the problem is the rate of fire scaling here means that it's going to spend more time reloading, which means reloads eat up a bigger part of its DPS. So if I'm going to go for high ground expertise, where you get that 100% damage per height level, you want to maximize the firing time, which means you probably want this rather than this. But if I'm going for solid foundation, which has reload speed built into it, it's probably fine to go for the damage and rate of fire. So I think I'm going to go take the reinforced pivot. This way I just maximize its DPS uptime. So now it reloads in just under a second, and it empties its clip in just over a second. So it has about a 50% DPS uptime. I'm going to add a second heavy Ven setter to it, and then that'll be fine for now. And then I'm going to basically duplicate this in the opposite direction. So now we have sort of covering fire from 2 heavy Vencedors, covering a circle like this. So a lot of air units will get shredded as they come in that direction. At least that's the hope. See the Puma doing work here. I'm going to give it paleo augments, I think. I like that range. I'm going to give it hydraulic recoil and paleo augments on this one too. It means that it can target the flying units from... gives me really good coverage on flying units, basically, is a thought process there. And that's something that matters a lot to me right now, because I'm dealing with a huge amount of flying units. Gaining supply on rerolls is pretty decent. More Puma positions is great. I need more anti-air DPS. Better bunkers is awesome, but scout hideout efficiency, I have a few of those scout hideouts, plus some Pumas is good. I think we're defending okay. So I'm tempted to try to save up and see if I can get this tactical fortress down. So let's go ahead and just send the wave, because I don't think enemies got in range of like taking out my base that turn. We do have a little bit of shield guys coming in here. Okay, enemies are getting pretty close down on this side, and they're getting pretty close down on this side, which means I might need more DPS up over on here. But generally speaking, I like to concentrate my DPS around the fortress itself. The electric arc cannon is cool. I love getting platforms. I would get 2 platforms. Cheaper bunker cost is really good, and extra Mirador efficiency. I have so many Miradors that a 10% efficiency boost on them is like, because that's DPS, rate of fire, and reload, so that adds up. I'm trying to think where I need to move enemies further away from the base. Like this is only 2 tiles away, but it's not too bad. Do I want to reroll or do I want to build a scout hideout? I think I'll build a scout hideout, so I'm going to push this a little bit further away. What's this here? Adjacent buildings gain 75% damage, but their upgrades cost 25% more. I'll put a scout hideout right there. It'll be fine. Just to activate that, remember that gives us potential DPS increases. So the tactical fortress. Now getting this placed is a tough one because it's a 3x3. Now if I had 2 more platforms, I could get it down here, but look at that range. That'd be fantastic. So let me see, do I have... Oh, here we go. It's a difficult building to place, but if you can get it down, it is probably disgusting. I'm thinking right here feels like incredible. On the corner would be beautiful. Plus it would actually benefit from this extra shield stuff. Where do I think I could get this down? I can't get it down anywhere just yet, so I might focus on some other stuff. Now enemies were getting close over here and close over here, but I don't have a huge amount of DPS over there. A lot of enemies come down this lane. A Durandal position beside this guy, which makes upgrades cheaper, would actually be incredible because the Durandal has +2 range if it's adjacent to a neutral building. And having the price on these, like the Blessed Machine, is insane. Question is, do I want to put platforms here? +2 range, it would hit most of this northern section. I think I'm just going to go for upgrading it. Flareum shells are cool, but I want the explosion damage. And then I'll do the Blessed Machine, because that shit is crazy. It's fires 3 shots around, has magazine is 6, or 3 shots per second. Takes about a second to reload, so this thing just is crazy good DPS. We should see big things coming out of this. This thing should shred. Okay, we've got a little bit of air getting close on this south side. Probably because this entrance is really close and there's not enough Pumas. We're also getting cloakers getting really close on the northern side. Yeah, so it looks like we just need more DPS down here and more DPS over here. based on the layout. Let's see, cheaper Durandals, extra supply. Scout hideout efficiency could be quite good here. I'll pick that up. I could go for the extra Puma and then upgrade it as an anti-air hydraulic coil with the paleo augment, so it's good range. It'll focus on air units in the area. Not the highest DPS, but like pretty decent. And then if I were to put maybe another Puma like this, doing the same general purpose paleo augments thing. We got great coverage for air in this area. I need a little bit of DPS up over here, I think. So what if I added another one of these sturdy bunkers? I gave it the reinforced pivot, gave it the second heavy Vencedor, and then I'll go for the solid foundation because it's only on a height 2. I didn't bother putting the platform underneath it. So there's going to be 100% damage, 50% rate of fire. So this thing is going to shred air as well. Let's ascend the waves, see if we can survive. The Pumas are opening up. Beautiful. Kind of watching the tactical position. There are some shielded enemies coming down here to the south, so I might need to get something to deal with shields. These enemies over here are getting a little bit close. I'm lacking DPS here, I think. But my commander did come out of that direction. I think we've got plenty of anti-stealth. We have so many Miradors that this feels hard not to take. Although Puma position efficiency plus extra Puma positions could be really, really strong. I think I'm going to go for the Mirador efficiency, plus these are also sturdy bunkers, which are anti-air. So let's see, you're only 2 tiles away from the main. Let's add an extra tile of distance. Where can I get this down? Difficult to place. I need to get platforms. Big time. We're getting up into the late game, so things like Durandals are going to become more important. I'm thinking a Durandal over here actually could be really useful because it covers 2 areas that I'm relatively weak. So if I add a long barrel plus a heavy payload, I could go for the Claydon Callan, but I think the Blessed Machine is just so redonkulous that maybe it'd be worth it to save up for that. And in the meantime, the Durandal will do hopefully good work to protect us. Yeah, I think we lack AA down here. I think we just lack DPS on this left side and things are very close, so I need to extend this out. Let's add extra close support now to the main base, partially so that it does its own DPS, but also we just need it to be better defended. Sturdy bunker efficiency. Puma position efficiency could be quite good. I was hoping for more platforms. I'm going to go for the Puma position efficiency. A bunker right there. Oh, we have 4. We have 4. Oh, shoot. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, we don't quite have enough to get the tactical fortress right here, but if we send the wave, we have threat revealed. Divides into 3 mucos on deaths, grants extra shield points. Okay. But if we go to the tactical fortress, we should be able to place it pretty early into this round. Like so. It's doing crazy damage. It's doing work. Okay, so this entrance might be a bit close. This entrance is a bit close. We got to spread these out a little bit if we can. All right, perfect. So plus 100 supply production. HQ suffers 850 damage. That's really strong because we have multipliers for supply production and our HQ repairs really fast. Puma efficiency is also sick, although I love this overclocked thing. We're not going to get a huge amount of value out of it. I need to extend this. Let me re-roll it. At the very least, let me space these out slightly, like so. Now, let's see here. So we can get +4 weapons or extra troop HP and damage. We don't have a lot of troops, so I think the lateral Reaper column. We get soldiers on the walls, which is cool. That would add, it looks like an LMG position plus 12 troopers. Right now it only has 2 troopers. Lateral Reapers would add Reapers on the corners like the main base. We also have rangefinders and Gothic Grandeur. So do we want it to hit more stuff or do more DPS? I think we want the Reaper cannons. Oh, the missile pack. We're going to man the wall, and then rangefinders is pretty good here, I think. But this thing fucks. Also, we can get another fortress if we ever find a spot for it. I'm going to put a Werewolf here, mostly to cover this path. I'm going to give it easy access plus cybernetic loader, so it's going to fire extremely fast, doing nice AoE damage. Look at the DPS coming out of this fortress, man. It's up to 4,000 damage already. That's disgustingly good. Ooh, air units getting close. Okay, but they have been stopped, or at the very least, they only did a limited amount of damage. I think my air units, my Pumas are spending a lot of time killing these gas bags. So that's a bit of a problem for us. I do love the idea of getting more platforms, and the Miradors are not terrible. However, I do think sturdy bunkers are better because of their anti-air capabilities, and we are facing a lot of air threats. Where do I think I could get another tactical fortress down? I could, in theory, get one over here. It would require 4 platforms. So if we could get the 4 platforms, we could get another one down. Now, do we want the rangefinders on this? I mean, it did 15,000 damage. More range means more damage on all of these weapons. Every single one of these weapons will have a higher uptime, meaning more total DPS. Let's do it. Boom. So now we have much bigger coverage, hopefully resulting in much better DPS in total. Send the wave. So this thing did 15,000 damage last wave. Let's see what it does this wave, because it's going to have a much bigger uptime this round, I think. Little mucosa nerds over here. Yeah, we need DPS in this zone here. Oh, don't let them through. Do not let them through. Come on. Okay, we took a gnarly hit. I'm annoyed by that. Okay, so we got Mighty Fortifications. This is Rotmister Vladask. Whoa, cheaper buildings, but higher upgrade costs. I like it. I'm super mad that we failed there. I felt like we were on a roll. I refuse to end on a loss. Straight up 40% extra damage per, like, at the start of the game on Konigmaster Yevdoki. Seems quite good. I do like the idea of the discounted armored staging ground, so let's do that. We're gonna try again. All right, let's think about this. I'll put this here. I can't even fit this anywhere. I guess I could fit it there. Put my tank producer here, so every 10 seconds we'll get a tank. Yeah. Uh-oh. My commander came out. My tank came out on the wrong zone. No! Why did you come out there? Oh, there he came. Nice. Yeah, we took a lot of damage there. This probably wasn't ideal. Yeah, we might be dead. Whoopsies. Maybe you shouldn't start with the tank. Maybe you shouldn't place the tank straight away. Yeah, I think maybe you shouldn't start with the tank. Okay, hold on. We had a bad start, okay? I do like the tank, but I just don't actually think it's that good. I think let's go with Konigmeister Yevdoki. The fact that we just straight up get a 40% DPS increase is really useful. Okay, we've got a 3-way split over here. That's kind of spooky, actually. 2-way split here. What matters the most? All right, let's turn that path there. I do like the support helipad Reaper turret opener plus the Mirador assistance. The Miradors just do really good DPS, and I've got a place where the most enemies are going to come from. It's good early game DPS. Now, better tier 2 doctrines could be huge early into the game. I'm going to go for Military Academy. In terms of money, I think we just chill on this wave. I don't think there's a whole lot we can do. Yeah, unfortunately, there are sort of dead zones for our fortress that certain things can't hit, and you don't really have a lot of control over the units coming out of your base. I do like Warwolf positions, and Mirador efficiency, or cheaper Miradors, is quite good. I do have another Mirador that I can deploy. So look, this is just a straight line path. Do I want a straight line? I guess I can put one right there. That's fine. Ooh, plus 50 supply production. I'm going to put a Mirador right next to that. Let's make the HQ stronger with the close support, although I do love the double DPS. I'm going to go for the close support, giving the HQ a little bit of extra health, a little bit of extra DPS, better able to defend itself. Considering it's most of my coverage right now, I think that's pretty necessary. Building HP, upgrade cost this wave, Durandal position, Warwolves. I think the extra 10% HP is quite good, making my main base a little bit better defended. I might save up for the underground garage. Do I want the +2 range? I could get +2 range if I were to put the underground depot in here, or I could gain detection. This is extra damage and rate of fire, meaning that they pump out DPS faster. Also +2 range, which would give us... It wouldn't really hit more paths. It would just give it better uptime. And the uptime on this is going to be pretty good. So would I prefer to just double the DPS and gain detection? Or do I want to save my money? I think we are doing pretty okay. Like, we're taking small hits, it feels like. So we can kind of tank a little bit through this next wave and think about, like, maybe we get a better roll. Advanced Mirador is cool. Threat reveal, gaining 2 platforms. We do have early threat reveal, so I think platforms are quite valuable. And so in conjunction with early threat reveal, oh wow, we could go heavily into making this area appear. Oh, +10 discovery. Now that is useful. Trying to think about... So the mortar is really good if you can get it to line up with a path. Like, a mortar here would be good. Trying to find a place for the mortar. Not really got anywhere for it to go. Oh! Undo. Get rid of that. I might save up for a Durandal position. I could get a few sturdy bunkers here. This sturdy bunker has good coverage on this south side. It's not terrible. I'll give it extra rate of fire and reload. That just increases its overall uptime. And then probably the second heavy Vencedor is pretty cheap too. So this will do pretty good DPS covering the local area. Yeah, we're getting hit. We need anti-swarm up here in the north. And that's going to come in the form of the light mortar fixture if we can. So Mirador efficiency. I love bastions. Cheaper Miradors and HQ HP. Sturdy bunkers are awesome, especially for the anti-air properties. I mean, also scout hideouts are great because, again, it gives you a use for your recon if you're not re-rolling very much. I'm going to put a bunker here and give it the reinforced pivot so it can help just thin the herd up here in the north. Sort of like the other bunker was doing. It's not going to completely stop the leaking, but it is going to heavily curtail it. Sort of thin it out a little bit. Let's see, we took a lot less damage that round thanks to that guy. Efficiency for sturdy bunkers or getting more sturdy bunkers. This is just straight up like a huge efficiency boost. I think I just need more stuff on the map right now. This path is still only too long. I'm going to turn you to the left here. What's the first threat? So we've got Mimukos and Medicris. We've got some flying units coming in. Let's add another bunker, reinforce it. I'm kind of watch where the weakness is coming from. Yeah, it looks like we're weak on this front. We're weak over here. I think upgrading this Mirador will help a lot with this one. Oh, 4 bastions would be crazy. Cheaper sturdy bunkers, now that I have a few of them, adds up, I think, especially for the upgrade side of things. I'm going to go for special reinforcements and logistic reinforcement here. This will add a lot of DPS to this area, hopefully helping. It doesn't help with this zone, but it helps with this area, which is particularly good. The Mirador is like decent anti-swarm. Not amazing, just decent. 400 supply right now would be amazing. Better Miradors and more sturdy bunkers, especially because I have discounts. Oh, shoot, I forgot to get this. I'm going to add a bit of distance here. I'm going to build this thing. Totally forgot to get the building cost reduction. That's a huge L on my part. I could have saved so much in the way of supply. Yeah, a lot of stuff is getting through, particularly flying units up around here. So I have an idea to deal with that. Bunch of supply, cheaper upgrades. I'm not going to bet it from Omega Axiom, so I'm just going to take a huge supply burst right now. That's going to let me take the Reliquary of Jidoria. That's going to make everything a little bit cheaper. And I'm going to add a sturdy bunker up here with a reinforced pivot to help deal with anything coming from this north side. Right, how are we doing? Not looking too bad. Taking a little bit of damage from the northeast. That makes sense based on our setup. We will hopefully be able to improve that situation. Okay, what do we got? Light mortar positions, scout hideouts, light mortar positions. Let's go for... I do have some Mirador efficiency, so I'm leaning towards the Miradors. Plus, they're really good against camouflage, which may become a problem this game. I need this zone to be slightly longer. What's this? HQ repairs every wave. That's going to be useful. I'm going to put a bunker on this pathway. I'm going to give it a reinforced pivot. It's got that better DPS. All right, how are we looking? Not too bad. Buildings adjacent to 4 other buildings gain 20% damage. That's good for clustering. Even cheaper bunkers really lines up with the strat we've been going with. I wish there was a way to because I don't remember where the leak came from. I wish it would say like, hey, you leaked from this direction. I think it was this northernly area that we leaked heavily from. So I'm going to add another bunker along this path. I'm going to give it a reinforced pivot plus a second heavy Vencedor. And maybe that doubling of the DPS will really help. It's looking like that was enough. Yeah, I think that was enough to prevent leaking, which is good. So we're going to start healing and stuff. Bastions are awesome. Neutral building scaling is awesome. I mean, right now we just have so many blueprints and not enough money. So anything that lets me get more out of my existing ones feels like a win. Okay, oh, I did not see the supply production building over here. Let's make this scout hideout nice and tall so we can give it farsight system. So it's going to support across the map now with a helpful trickle of DPS. So we got pretty damn good supply production. We do have a problem with air units getting through here. I'm going to add another bunker on this crossroad. The Omega emitter shoots in a continuous straight line. It's a tier 2 building. Let's grab that. That seems like it's good. Plus it detects. One thing I lack is anti-swarm. I do think it would be good to get more of these heavy Vencedors. I'm trying to see where a lot of my DPS is. Right now my DPS is actually heavily spread across the map, across a variety of buildings. This feels like a really good place for a mortar, actually. If I had a platform, I would give it. And learning machines, giving it just a 5% DPS increase every round is pretty good. We don't need the range. We want it to concentrate fire in and around here, in particular on this tile. So I'm going to give it learning machines. Shrapnel is probably better than support fire. So now it has detection, plus another 50% straight damage. So hopefully this thing will do work by target firing in this zone. All right, let's see. Okay, we should probably consider a bunker somewhere here covering this. We did 600 damage, not bad. Oh, the Slavic howitzer. That shit's crazy. It's a tier 3. Let's grab it. Maybe we'll be able to get it down. So this pathway here is very short. I'm going to lengthen it. I think we're okay to just send the wave. I may save up for the underground garage because I think those tanks are really going to help. Okay, flying units are still getting through over here on this right side. We'll have a think about what we want to do about that. The retribution position. Gain 75 supply on a reroll. That's actually really helpful. We'll take that. It allows me to turn recon into supply at a rate of 1 to 3. So 1 recon spent gets me 3 supply. So I'm having a DPS issue in and around here. The flying units that come from here just kind of slip through because there isn't that much overlapping fire. Adding a Mirador here to protect the base could probably be at least part of the solution. So I'll add an extra Mirador. That'll get us a little bit more headquarter HQ, a little bit more repair, a little bit more DPS in the area. I don't think it's going to solve our issues, but it will make the issue Less apparent. Perfect. Shorted up, took no damage. Excellent wave. Cheaper Miradors again. Oh, armored staging ground. I'm kind of intrigued by this. Let's go for it. New threats have been spotted. We've got the floating Canid and the Sanatropes. They're going to be dealing with more flying units. And the Sanatrope, which is heavily shielded, and it drops along the path. So we need our path to be longer. Bit of a problem for us. I'm going to re-roll here. I'm going to make that turn around the corner. We need the path to be longer so they drop less close to the main base. And then I'm going to save up. I'm going to save up supply to get the tanks. I think it's time to get the underground garage. Flying units are slipping through in some areas. We do have a decent amount of anti-air. Okay, yeah, there's just a lot of noise up here now. This zone, this sort of area is a problem. I may want to put another mortar shooting in here. I mean, this mortar did about 1,000 damage. It's not amazing. It's also not bad. Cheaper Miradors is good. Bastions are like disgustingly strong, but they're very expensive. They're really good DPS though. Insane DPS, particularly if you can get them on a high ground. They also work pretty well on a low ground, because they have an upgrade that scales off of low ground. Let's go for the Bastion. Okay, we just need a little bit of money now to get the underground garage. So I'm gonna summon this wave and save for it. Hopefully the bit of cash will come through. Boom, there it is. We have the underground garage. Now, it's not gonna spawn the 4 tanks at the start of the wave like it will in future waves, but it will continuously spawn tanks every 10 seconds, which is nice. Extra efficiency on the bunkers is not terrible. We do need supply because we just don't have enough supply to get enough buildings down. A lot of my enemies are very close, so they're coming in quickly, which is a problem. So I'm just going to try and spread out a little. It's a great spot for a fortification. So I need some kind of DPS unit up here in the north. I could put the Slovak howitzer. If I place it here, it hits most of the path on the way to our main from the north. I could give it a tech upgrade too, 25% extra damage every 5 seconds, or just get bigger explosions. This thing fires about once every 2 seconds. It's got 1 magazine. We could go for the triple barrel. Anyway, whatever. It's fine the way it is for now. So hopefully it'll do some work for us. All right, the tanks are rolling out. Beautiful. We are having enemies are getting through on this zone. The tank is doing work. One of the tanks died, so we do need a little bit of coverage DPS down here in the southeast. Sturdy bunkers. We have lots of upgrade to bunkers, so that'll be a great pickup for us. A sturdy bunker right here is beautiful. Reinforced pivot plus the second heavy Vencedor. That'll increase the efficiency by a lot. I'm going to put another one up here as well, making lots of sturdy bunks. Let's see where we struggle in this wave. Yeah, these guys dropping from the from high are annoying, especially because they're shielded, and so my Vencedors are spending a lot of time trying to shred them. Now, once their shields break, they don't have a whole lot of health, but man, if they get through, they do damage. So I definitely feel like I need more DPS down here. I need more DPS. Oh, I'm dead. I refuse. I refuse. Let's try to give it one more quick try. Let's go for Rotmister Vladask, okay? This guy's going to build a lot of buildings. All right, we're going to try and play it fast here. So these kind of connect in a very awkward way. So we are going to have to reduce the number of battlefronts down, which means tanks probably aren't the way to go. I kind of hate this layout. Let me go ahead and forfeit and just quickly restart because I hate this starting layout. Rather than try to live with it, let's just roll for a better starting layout. This is a little bit nicer. It's still not ideal. I'm going to start with the stars called. Now, those upgrade price increases includes the main base. Plus 5 recon production, 10% repair. Let's get the support helipad at least for that recon production. And then the Reaper turrets do provide early game defense. And then we're going to go straight for the stars call. Put it right there. We want Order of the Claimed Sky plus the Reliquary of Judaria so that we can spam out buildings. We'll struggle a little bit in the early game. We're going to take a bit of damage, but we do have some repair. It's not the end of the world. All right, let's go high speed. Extra discovery this early into the game is very useful, actually. And Warwolves are pretty good, especially if placed adjacent to the main base. So yeah, let's get some Warwolves down. Yeah, look at that clearing speed. Beautiful. Extra Warwolf efficiency is good. Let's do that. I think we'll turn you... Well, let me see. Let's turn you that way. Oh, what's you? When building adjacent to the classified site, you gain 300 supplies. So this is actually a way for us to turn building placement into money if we have cheap enough buildings, which we do. We just save up for the Reliquary of Judaria. The amount of money that 15% discount is going to save us over the course of this run is going to be insane. If I take the Miradors here, I can basically embezzle money by placing Miradors adjacent to this building thing. Buildings adjacent to 4, the buildings gain 20% damage. This is going to be actually really useful if I'm spamming lots of buildings, so maybe tight ranks could be good. Spread them out here. Adjacent buildings get detection and +1 range. That's pretty nice. Here we go. We're just every time you place a building next to this, you gain money. Then you can sell it. Basically turning, this into what? For the cost of 20, you get 300 money. That's a pretty damn good deal. Okay. Our buildings are super cheap. Get down more werewolves. Let's get down a couple more miradors. My capital should be benefiting from the 20% damage boost. Can we find a nice position for this? Not really here. That's a nice position for this bunker. It'll cover this lane. Scout hideout is very cheap. I've nowhere I want to place it though. Okay, we got hit with a little bit of air from the north and a little bit of this from the east. I'll go for more werewolves and I will immediately place them. Height 3 for you. That's perfect. All right, how are we looking now? Yeah, it looks a little bit better. We still need some anti-air up here in the northeast. Let's get some more werewolf positions. Beautiful. Foes in range is slowed. Adjacent buildings get detection on +1 range. This could be a great way to get detection on werewolves, actually. Let's get a werewolf up on height 3 adjacent to this bad boy. We'll give it heavy shells. We'll give you easy access. I'm fine with that. Cybernetic loader is cool, but I don't want to spend tech on that. So we shred. All right, cool. Cool. HQ HP, sturdy bunker plus platforms. I think the sturdy bunker actually is pretty decent here. It's not my favorite way to do things, but this thing will do a little bit of work in that position. I'm going to raise this up by at least 1 to cover this area. Do we have a height 3 platform somewhere that we can put this bad boy on? Well, actually, we also want to get the far sight ranged things. We'll just leave that there for now. Okay, I didn't see where we took damage from, but it didn't look like we took too much damage. Sturdy bunkers and light mortar positions. Love it. I do need to extend this path a little bit. Cheaper upgrade cost for adjacent buildings. That's a good combo, actually, for my build. So a bunker right there seems like it would do pretty good work. A mortar aiming down this lane. This is way better for a bastion, though, for a fortress. I think a mortar aiming down this way is good. Try to get mortars to play nice with positioning. I always have a hard time placing mortars. Not my favorite. Okay, it looks like a little bit of air is getting through on this side and on this side. DPS on those is nice. The Durandal position is good, as the Puma position is as well. So since air seems to be getting through on this side, let's go for a couple of Pumas defending. We need detection, okay, so that's going to be something to take care of. We'll go for Military Academy. Oh, I could have taken Bastions there. I wish for a fish. All right, let's go for special reinforcements. We need anti-cloak. Cheaper light mortars, extra Puma positions. Extra Puma position seems nice. Logistic reinforcement. Let's save our cash. We're getting hit by those stealth units really bad. Slovak howitzer. Werewolf efficiency, cheaper upgrades. I'll take the werewolf efficiency plus the cheaper upgrades is useful. I'm going to make this longer. Let's give the HQ a little bit of extra health. Like, that'll be pretty good. We try to deal with these cloaked nerds. We definitely want bastions, even though they can't detect. I think my focus right now is getting my miradors upgraded so that they can see stealth. It's going to be our main defense against stealth for a while. Bunkers and Durandals are not bad. Let's do it. Got another base. Right there. Come on. All right, nice. It looks like we're doing okay. Advanced Mirador, cheaper Pumas. Cheaper Pumas, I'll go for that. We really don't have a +3 tile somewhere. Can I make a +3? I don't know if I necessarily want to. All right, let's keep sending waves. Oof, I think we might be close to being dead here. Yeah, those sneaky guys are getting through. It's a problem, we just don't have much economy. I don't think this particular hero is particularly good. That's part of it, actually. There's a supply producer over here that I missed. All right, hopefully we'll survive this wave. I don't think we will. Okay, we tried 3 different strategies and we got different distances. What if we did just one more? What if we did just one more? Just one more, bro. Okay, what about this lady? She starts with a rampart missile silo and scales off the number of entrances. So we want an entrance max. Boom. I could completely eliminate a battlefront and an entrance. It's kind of an interesting, neat idea. I really like the support helipad plus the Reaper turret opener. It gives you that, like, just that little bit of early game defense. That I think helps. Extra HP on the HQ isn't terrible. An extra 25 recon is also nice. Put down our little statue and start working on that. Tier 2 doctrines are more likely to appear, plus some miradors that I can spam. All right, cool. We'll try to turn you into a single lane. Try to make that happen. Let's go for Order of the Sky, plus a 15% building cost in the next wave or 2. We'll take a little bit of damage early game. You can always tank this while you try to get set up. Blueprints are awesome. Cheaper miradors, yes. Spam those miradors. There's the 15% building cost reduction. Let's add some miradors. They're not perfect, but they do help. Pumas are also excellent. I'll take those Pumas. Those are going to really help. I need you to turn this way so we can conjoin these two paths. We're going for the single battlefront strat this time. Oh! This might be too close. I need a supply. What is this? A rampart missile silo? Jesus, I forgot I had that. Okay, I added a Puma to this side. Maybe it'll help. Oh, it's close. Jesus. Bastions are awesome, but I cannot afford them right now. Let's go for the Mirador efficiency. The perfect. However, we may die. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I think I may have killed myself here. We'll try. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we're dead. We're super dead. We're ultra dead. We're omega dead. We're so dead. We're so dead. Wait, we're alive? We lived? Pog? We survived. Yeah, let's get that sturdy bunker. I need more repair. So I think extra range on the Miradors are going to increase their uptime. And then logistic reinforcement will double their DPS, roughly speaking. And close support will help the HQ. That's what we're going to go for. Come on. Live. Commander gains experience. Mirador efficiency. Plus bastions. Please, God, turn this that way. Come on, man. I want to live. That's a lot coming from the northeast. Oh! Okay, one more. Ooh, loose 10 expeditions. Maybe this is the wrong faction for me, right? Let's try Archaeologist Caria. So she gets 1 Xenoprognosis and the commander gains 50% experience. Let's try her, okay? Oh shoot, Jesus Christ, what a starting tile. Oh my God, this is absolutely dreadful. I have to re-roll that. This is honestly so much better. A 3-way because it's going to set up a good Bastia fortress later. I hate this start actually. Let me re-roll that. That is just devastatingly bad start. Okay, this is way more reasonable. So we have the Xenoprognosis here. It's a special building. It takes up a 2x2 tile. I will put it, where does it go? Right there. Boom. And so basically, if we can scrap it to gain 500 supply and 2 tech, or we can rebuild it, which emits a wave every 10 seconds that damages all foes. It has infinite range. Let's go for the support helipad and the Reaper turrets opener, plus the Star's Call and the Order of the Sky. We'll send the wave. We'll probably take a chunk of damage here. It's not a big deal in the early game. Supply on rerolls is incredible. Bastions are incredible. Extra HP. We don't want scout hideouts because our recon is going to be tied up in other things. 200 supply right now is really good. So I think I'll take that 200 supply as it's going to allow me to get the Reliquary of Judarium, which is then going to allow me to start getting Miradors down. That's going to be our basic DPSers in the early game. Plus 5%. 5% rate of fire is good. Do I want to join my paths into a single battlefront? I don't think I do. So I'll turn this away. Plus 50% HQ, HP. Let's increase the range of this building, and then we'll go for the logistic reinforcement next wave. So it'll have a bunch of extra range. It'll be able to assist. We'll go for the logistic reinforcement. Plus 25 recon right now is really good for getting the Xenoprognosis up. So that's going to be extremely useful. Let's go for the logistic reinforcement. Still taking a little bit of damage. That's okay. Cheaper Miradors are good. We just don't want the scout hideout, so I think we'll just go for the bastions here. I do want more enemies to be coming from the side that I actually have the Mirador on. I'm going to put a Mirador on the exact opposite side to hopefully help with the DPS as well. Oh my God, we're leaking. Jesus. Commander detection plus 5 scouting is good. Miradors. Give me those. Extra range, so he'll be able to help. Still taking some damage, but it's not as bad. 75 recon right now is insane because that's going to allow me to activate. I need you to turn that way. 300 supply for building adjacent. That's crazy. Let's get to repair the molecular core. And then we're also going to be able to get the deceleration field soon. I think I want to print a little bit of cash here because that's going to allow me to get logistic reinforcement. I'm going to place this mortar. I'm going to place these mortars and then sell them after the wave. You'll get most of the money back. Put another Mirador here, give it extra range and logistic reinforcement. Perfect. So we've got a few Miradors protecting now, doing their job. There's the wave pulse. That was exactly what we were waiting for. It's an extremely good anti-swarm ability. Cheaper Miradors is insane. Mirador efficiency is good because we have some. I'll go for the cheaper Miradors and then we'll get another one right there. Oops, I built the wrong kind of Mirador, so I'm just going to delete that. Let's go for a Warwolf instead. Warwolves scale pretty well from being in a defensive position, so that's good. The pulse is insane. Bastions, Miradors, give me those. Path to split. This is what I actually wanted to do, is to go for the underground depot. Big pulse, beautiful. The pulse is insane. Ugh. You know what? I don't think this is going to work out. We're going to try again. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.